All right, we're going to be live on YouTube any second now, 1 minute before we're live on the actual radio. All right, there we go. Okay. You got my email, Phil?
Let me check. I'll take a look now.
All right, I got some background.
Okay.
All right, we got about 40 seconds, 30
All
seconds,
right.
about 40 seconds. All right, the information I have about you is CEO Tower Group, investment banking,
Yeah.
nonprofits,
Yeah.
black education, economics. I don't have any, they didn't give me any
Yeah.
website for you.
Okay. TowerKGroup.com. TOWER letter
All
K
right.
G R O U
Okay,
P.
we're going to be live. Towergroup.com.
Tower K Group.
All right, hold on. Good afternoon. We are live on WPAT 9:30 a.m. on your radio dial, live to over, wow, 10 million people. It's pretty exciting that we are able to do this. And we have a radio show that we talk about interesting current topics from a conservative, a Christian point of view. And we always get some very interesting topics. Now, these are quick fire interviews, I call them, because we have 5 people in 1 hour. So I may step on some of these guest toes, but we still enjoy just being with them. I am Gary Scarano. I am the UnderDog Report. I do work for JoeHoff.com, the national news site, and I am also the author of the book, The Jesus Gospel, JesusGospel.com, a book that has been endorsed, and he does not endorse many books, Clarence Thomas. I'm very proud to say that Clarence Thomas has endorsed my book. So I encourage you to go out and get it. It is one of the very first times anybody has combined the Bible word for word uh, and into one story. So that's JesusGospel.com. And we are here now with my first guest, and I'm excited to talk to him about it, what he has to do. He's the founder of Tower K Group. That's towerkgroup.com. He's an investment banker. He works with nonprofit. He works with the African American community, education, criminal justice. That's a topic I love, and I would just like to welcome uh, Phil Bell. Hello, Phil.
Hello, Gary. It is a pleasure to be on with you. And as a big fan of Justice Thomas, I am definitely going to go and order your book today. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Wow. And then I want you to get back to me and give your thoughts. And when you pick up the book, I would like you to start on chapter 20.
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay. And you'll see, you'll figure it out why. But I'm here
Okay.
to talk about you, not to talk about me. And so
K
towerkgroup.com.
Group. Yes. Yep,
So
that's it.
let's take a look at your website and see tell me a little bit about yourself, Sam.
So I have worked in the conservative movement for many years. I think we're getting closer to 20 years than we are to 10. And basically, I started Tower K Group to help conservative nonprofits raise money, put on events, and do media. Because if there's one thing that I know, I'm a movement conservative, I'm a Reagan conservative, I'm a Trump conservative, I'm a Newt Gingrich conservative. And the
Oh, wow,
problem
you're
that we
saying all the
have,
wonderful things I love. I love you, Phil. Keep on going. This is
well,
great.
the problem we have is we are so good at finding other people who agree with us and talking about what we believe in, but we're really bad about spreading it to the masses in a very large way. So, what I want to do is use my expertise to help our organizations get their message beyond those who just identify as conservatives, because our country is a conservative country. That's what it was built on, and it has to be that again.
Now, as you can see, I'm scrolling through your website now, towerkgroup.com,
Yeah,
towerkgroup.com. Here we are. And unlike generic PR firms, oh, you are a PR firm. Great.
we do that too. Yeah,
You do,
absolutely.
you do everything. So tell me what's the most important thing you want to talk about today, Phil?
Well, the most important thing, we're coming up on July 4th, the 250th anniversary of our country. And the one thing that I see is that so many people are not talking about how important this country really is, not only to us, but to the entire world. Now, I want you to understand, as you know, this country was founded on an idea. We were founded on an idea with no, it's not because we have one group of people, not because we have one ethnicity, nothing like that. We have all of these things. And yet, over every obstacle, this country has persevered. This is the one place where you can be a welder and become a millionaire because you're welding for a little company called SpaceX. And just because it happened once means it can happen over and over and over again. But we get into all of these. Yeah, go ahead, please.
And you know what, Phil? I want to tell you, there's a few people starting to wake up. The world stage has gotten bad news about America, but they're coming here for the FIFA, the World Cup, and they're saying, "I love this country. I love the food. I love the abundance they have here." So people are starting to wake up. We need Americans to be patriotic and love this country.
Absolutely. And the other thing we need is for Americans not to be lazy. Why is it that we have people who are born into such abundance and yet they whine and they say, oh my gosh, nobody's paying for my health care? Why don't you pay for your health care? And if you don't like it, why don't you find a way to lower the cost? Why don't you innovate? Why don't you be a part of it? That's what I want people to learn this July 4th.
All right. So now, how do people connect with you? I mean, if you're a person in need or a person wants to help, what do they do?
Well, first of all, email me, pbell@towerkgroup.com. And the other thing you can do is look me up on Facebook. Just look up Phil Bell. There's a picture of me and Lara Trump, and follow me over there. You can send me messages there too. I put out a video every day where I just talk about, I tell them I'm your favorite Trump supporter, Phil Bell, talk about a different issue. I want to make sure that people connect with me over there too.
Now, can they connect you with you here? You can get in touch on your website, right?
Oh yeah, please. Yes, please do.
So it's you could just do that, and that is on towerkgroup.com/contact, and fill out the form and get that done. But you do work primarily with the African American community.
No, we work with anybody and everybody. If you are conservative minded and you have an organization, we want to work with you to get your message out, help you raise money and the like. Or if you're a donor and you would like to support these organizations, you want to know which ones are the best for you to work with, we also want to work with you as well. Now, I'm a black guy and I'm a proud part of Project 21. That's who connected us. And I hope that a lot more people go out, put Project 21 in the browser and learn about it, because that's a group of black conservatives who are proud and unashamed to be conservative, no matter what the liberals say about us.
And where is that?
They're in Washington, D.C. They're part of the National Center for Public Policy Research. And if you just put in Project 21, make sure I get the address right, because if there's one thing I'm bad at, as my friends will tell me, it's sometimes you get the address wrong. But nationalcenter.org and go over to Project 21.
Project 21. I've heard about them. That's great. That's fantastic. So you help nonprofits. You help them with public relations. You help them with raising money, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So if you are a nonprofit and you're seeking help, you're not getting the money you need, you're not getting the recognition you need, go to
towerkgroup.com. Absolutely.
towerkgroup.com.
And I want to say something. If anybody's out there, you've considered giving to a conservative group, I want you to be very careful about who you give to. But remember that giving is so important, because on the left, they take big sums of money and they will just place it with a lot of different groups to see that what works out. And when it does, that's how they do things like all their election fraud and so forth. They educate people through their 501c3 organizations to come up with their plans, and then they implement it. So they don't spend very much on candidates comparatively as we do. And that's why these nonprofits are so important.
Well, that's another thing you do. I see here on your website, campaign development. Is that, when you say campaign, that means campaign for the nonprofits?
Correct. And that's usually either campaigns to nonprofits themselves or issues that they're working on. So what matters the most? Maybe it's it's a tax bill. Maybe it's something like removing regulations. Help you develop that. Make sure that we have the right audience for it, how it can be most effective, what strategy to use. So I was lucky to do so much of that work with FreedomWorks, which was known as the leading center-right grassroots organization for so many years. So I learned from the best, and I want to share that with others.
Again, one more time, what is the one thing you want people to know? So I want to get your message out, Phil. I love what you talk about. I I want to help you as much as I can. It's exciting even to meet you.
Thank you. The one thing I want people to know is we have a lot of great minds on the right. The only thing is they don't have the visibility that so many people do on the left. So the more that you do, the more that you get involved, you volunteer, you donate, you make sure to even just talk on Facebook, that will help get that message out.
Phil, we're coming into this interview at 5, 10 minutes. 10 minutes, it goes really fast. But I think it's exciting what you're doing. I would encourage you to find out how we can get the churches involved, how we get people to get into the churches and talk about that. I used to be involved with the Christian Coalition. I was able to get my county to go Republican, even though Obama won the presidency, but my county went to Republican. All right, there you go. I'm sorry, Phil. It was a
Oh,
blank out there. Thank
oh,
you for
my,
joining,
yes, it was a pleasure being on with you.
and let's stay in touch. God bless you.
Absolutely. Same to you.
Thank you. And tell me if you like that book.
I will do. Love it. Thank
God.
you.
And I have Mr.
Coming in.
Craig. Craig, hey, Craig, how are you?
It's great to be with you, Gary. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for being here. I love doing this. These are quick fire interviews, so we have. I want to get right into it, and I really love what you guys what you stand for, Craig. This is really exciting to me. The Family Policy Alliance, and tell me what your position is and how you're involved with them.
Well, our position, just first, if I could, Family Policy Alliance was founded within Focus on the Family. Our first name was
Oh, really?
Focus Action. Yeah. And then we were Citizen Link. It's about getting citizens involved. But we take a different approach than others. We're not a national group that comes from on high in Washington, D.C. and says, this is how to do it at your kitchen table, your family. We take our policy ideas from the family up through the states toward DC, the way our country was founded. So we're different. We're not top down, we're bottom up. We have 40 state groups, over 450 employees, 55,000 churches that we talk to every week, not just for politics or policy. And we're the largest mobilizer of Christian voters in America. We're the central hub of social conservative policy and I would argue, the most impactful state alliance that exists in America right now, because we started the Save Girls Sports campaign nearly a decade ago, and it was our office and our groups that I just described that work with, and the larger amalgamation of social conservative and Christian groups that wrote the bills in Idaho and West Virginia.
Craig, that's near and dear my heart because I tell you, we are in a spiritual battle, and without the church, we're not going to move. We're going to move at a snail's pace. But if the church gets involved, we are going to move in a spiritual space. So, as I mentioned, I used to be involved with the Christian Coalition. I'd love to help you in any way so that we can get people into the churches and just understand what's going on from a conservative, from a Christian perspective. So tell me, what are the issues that you're dealing with now?
Well, the four main things that we're working on with, we've never been able to stop, unfortunately, in our country working on the protection of life. That our lives are inalienable from us. The government can't decide who lives or dies, whether it's abortion, euthanasia, or whatever. Our After Roe, which we're now in an After Roe era, that campaign is in full swing. We are the ones that created the Save Girls Sports campaign that the Supreme Court ruled on yesterday, passing that in over 26 states right now, but that we have 23 states to go. We have work to do in a couple of states that didn't go all the way on that. We're the creators of the ban on transgender surgeries and drugs for minors. That one was treated as a gadfly issue for several years. We're now in a majority of states. We had to override 6 governors, 3 Republican, 3 Democrat on that with that policy campaign. And then maybe the most popular one, but the hardest one is let parents parent. we're trying to get pornography away from kids. We're trying to,
Excellent.
talk about all these other things, and parents have just been apathetic. But now, we're seeing a lot of, as I say, popular support for, the parental rights being restored in America, which is natural for Family Policy Alliance to lead. So those are the 4 campaigns we're focused on right now.
Well, you had some excellent news just yesterday regarding men playing in women's sports.
Yeah, it was not unexpected, though. I mean, this has been so obvious since people first heard about it. But it's just unfortunate that in our country, thank God it was done before our 250th year anniversary, that, we got this in there that guess what? Women and girls are just as important as boys and men. They have an equal access to the playing field. They should be respected. Their creation is just as special as a male's creation. And we can't take men over them and give men more rights than girls. It was an amazing victory, and as I said, just unfortunate that it had to rise to the Supreme Court. And a lot of people are let down, as we are, that the Supreme Court didn't issue a ruling from the Supreme Court saying this is the law of the land in all 50 states. But in reality, we're talking about sports. We're not talking about the life, like abortion. And so they're letting the states decide. But that, we hope, puts pressure on Congress to step up and make this the law in all 50 states, especially with federal funding. And we hope that this also spurs on the body of Christ to do what the master did with the talents, the bags of gold he gave us. This country, the school district where you live, start voting in the elections, and that's where it can really be changed. None of this nonsense would have started if Christians would have been voting in their local school board elections for the last 30
Greg,
years.
let me understand something. The Supreme Court just gave a ruling that men are not allowed in women's sports. Isn't that the law of the land now?
No, no. What they said was states have the right to give women their exclusive athletics. So in states like where I live
Oh,
in Michigan, where they say we do not honor and respect women's privacy in the locker room or their right to a fair and level competitive, or their safety for that matter in a sporting event, that a boy can still say, I'm a girl, and show up in that sport and take away a girl's spot on the team, injure the girl, manipulate the outcomes of the sporting event. And it's unfortunate, but that is going on today in 23 states.
now here's your website. Is any place you want me specifically to show? People can see this on the YouTube or on YouTube
Yeah,
at
you showed some of it, but familypolicyalliance.com is where we are. And what it says on here, standing together for American families, you just saw it. Where did this come from, folks? It wasn't, we're ministry first, we're family centered. We believe the future is going to be decided by who shows up. And that means that you have to engage. That's what that section's about. And you hear about what's going on all over America. Most school board elections are 8 to 15% turnout. And I can tell you that George Barna and Arizona Christian University have done a study. Christians vote less often than welfare recipients, Medicaid recipients, and the general public. And the answer to undoing this madness, it's wonderful to get a court decision, but what would be a more durable victory and what would actually restore the rights of girls and parents would be if Christians took seriously the stewardship of the blessing of this country that was given to us by God by showing up in every election. So the main thing is to join us, and that's what the click throughout the entire front page is, because we will remind you to vote, and you can share that with your friends.
FamilyPolicyAlliance.com. Family Policy Alliance. It's right here. Hey, a quick question for you, Craig. And this is near my dear my heart because I do want churches, I do want Christians to get involved. You just said they're one of the least involved. Uh, uh, have you thought about doing something similar or that the Christian Coalition did, getting people to speak at local churches and getting training local people up?
That is exactly what we're doing. Thank you, Gary, for bringing that up. We're an aggregator, so we have the technology to remind people to vote, right? And we had a 92% turnout when we do that. And that's over 1 million people in the 2024 election. We want to get that closer to 10 million people. But you still need to know what the issues and the candidates are. And that's what we have our family policy councils to do in the 40 states, which means we need people listening to the show to help us grow in the other 10 states. And we also need, we have 50,000 plus churches that we work with. We
A
need more
lot.
pastors to invite in. Civics is not politics. These are moral issues, not political issues we're talking
Exactly.
about.
Exactly.
And to say, you know what, you need to show up. God gave you this school district, the city, etc. You have to participate, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. It's like teaching them how to get an oil change or use an ATM
Let
machine.
me let me
And
just
that's what we
ask
do.
a question. You're right. It'd be great, but pastors are very busy. Let's say I'm sitting in the pew. My pastor says, "Yeah, I agree with everything that the family council does. They're great. They're fantastic." But I'm running a church. I don't have a minute to myself. The point that I found more successful is getting people within the congregation. Says, I raised my hand. I said, I will do this for your organization. So if I am anywhere in the sound of my voice, anybody who has an interest to talk in your church, get trained by the family council, please
That's right.
contact them. Where can they contact you?
You come right in. We make it easy. You join us. You get introduced right away to your state. You know, within an email or two, we welcome you in, and then we direct you to the state family council. And you can go as far as you want. We have people that have gone from listening to Dr. James Dobson, our founder, talking on the radio, like you, Gary, in the late 1980s, that are
He was
still the
wonderful,
president
wonderful, wonderful.
of a state policy group that employs 40 or 50 people that they actually grew from nothing. So I'm not going to intimidate people and say that's what you have to do, but know that your involvement, we train you if you want to run for office. We train you to talk to your neighbors. We teach you how to talk at school board meetings. We'll teach you how to serve on a school board. And we're just unpacking all those resources. We amplify the voice. When we started Save Girls Sports, the Republican Party was just as opposed to us as the Democratic Party. The Chamber of Commerce, the Fortune 500, there were no allies. And now it's an 80% issue in America. And that's because of the work of so many local churches and just families that got up off the couch and said, my girls, the women's rights, they're worth standing up for, and it's a civil rights movement, and it's starting
Craig,
to take hold in America.
we're getting ready for our next next guest quickfire interviews. I'm really excited about what you talked about. FamilyPolicyAlliance.com. Hey, if you're a Christian or conservative, go there, sign up, go talk to your pastor. They will probably let you speak. You'll be trained. This is exciting. You've got to do it. FamilyCouncil.org. God bless you. I hope to talk to you, Craig. I'd love to talk to you one-on-one sometime. God bless you.
Thank you, Gary. Bye-bye.
And we have Wes Martin is coming next. And I always enjoy these guests. We go fast, don't we? Yes, we do. God, time goes so fast.
Hey, Code.
Yes. Hey, Wes. Just want to let you know that my you jumped a position. Somebody skipped, but that's okay. You're here. How are you, Wes? Are you there? And he walked away. All right, so I'm going to talk about what Wes is. He's talking about Iran, which is in the news a lot, and Iran is talking about.
Help me.
Are you there? I'm looking for you, Wes. I see you. You walked up. You walked away. Okay, but let's talk about what Wes represents here. It has to do with Iran, and they're big time. And the Iranian resistance leader, the deputy director of the National Council of Resistance of Iran, which is basically in Washington, D.C., trying to advocate for the Iranian people. Hey, Wes, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, I see you setting up and sitting down. There you
Okay,
go.
I'm here.
So you advocate for the Iranian people, not for the people in charge, not for the baby shahs, he's told, not for the mullahs, but for the people. Is that true?
That is very, very true, especially not for baby Pahlavi. Recently, I wrote a major report on him, and what I found, he did a 168-page plan of actions should he be given power. And I read the report, and the first two chapters, they read like Adolf Hitler's enabling plan of 1933. Give me complete power, and I will run everything. I will ignore the Constitution. I will ignore the legislative body, and for 6 months, and then I will turn the power back over to the people. It was like taking my left and right hand and putting it up next to each other, looking at his report and looking at Hitler's 1933 enabling plan. So I am definitely not a fan of, I call him Baby Pahlavi. I
Well,
do fight.
this is very important for people to understand, Wes, because everybody's thinking, well, we're making sure they don't have a nuclear weapon. We're bombing them. I think what Trump is doing is a good job. But people are thinking, okay, well, we'll get the old Shah back and things will be all better. And what you're trying to advocate for is no, we need the people of Iran to get involved in this process, not just rely on everything that's going. Give me your website, and I want people to go there.
The website, easiest way to get to it is just go on Google and type in Colonel Wes Martin, and the website will be the first thing that pops up. The website itself is www.colonelwesmartin.com.
Okay.
But and you're right about fighting for the Iranian people. I have worked with the National Council of Resistance of Iran, and I've done a lot of reports. Matter of fact, last winter I did another report, and Louis Freeh, the former director of the FBI, has been constantly telling them, got to start building case files on the people that have committed all these crimes. Finally, they agreed, and I went back to the Nuremberg trials, and I put together a major document. I came up with 4 different types of cases they could prosecute. Director Freeh,
Here's your website, by the way. Go ahead.
And Director Freeh ended up adding another 6, and those investigations are now ongoing inside the resistance element. I've also told the resistance, you've got to organize the militias inside Iran. You've got to reach out to the Baluch in the southeast, the Arabs in the southwest, the Kurds and the Peshmerga. I spent yesterday at great length with a Peshmerga battalion commander, former commander, going over all the details on how to build inside the country. And also 55% of the population are Persians. They don't want this. They've been oppressed actually since 1953 with the Shah. And then it looked like Bani Sadr was going to be able to set up a government, democracy, again in 1979. And Ayatollah Khomeini came back, hijacked it, used the taking of the American embassy to raise a fever inside the country so great that he was able to cast out any chance of a democracy. And his government, even after he passed, started saying, and they've been saying it now, death to Israel, death to the United States.
I know they keep on saying that stuff, and they have a plan. We know what their plan is. Their plan is what the Democrats are telling them to do: hold out until the new election, and just keep on letting Trump bomb you, but just hold on, and we'll have a solution then. And I don't think that's logical.
No, the people themselves, they've got to be mobilized. And the United States and Israel, during the first few days of the war, they dropped 13,000 pieces of ordnance. They had 13,000 targets, and they did a lot of damage. And I was on various news shows at the time saying, this is not going to collapse the government. President Trump said we cut off the head of the snake. That is Western mindset. It's the body of the spider. And as soon as you cut off, as soon as you slam the mother spider, all the babies jump off her back and go in different directions. And that's what's happened. And also the mindset, a lot of people should realize the Western mindset and the Middle East mindset are very different, because in the West, At one time, the Middle East was very much more advanced. But we went through the age of exploration. We went through the age of enlightenment, the religious reformation, the industrial revolution, the Great Awakening, the American Revolution that took the ideas of John Locke and others and formed it into a democratic government. The Middle East didn't go through that, but Iran back in the early 1950s, they were building such a government under Mossadegh, and unfortunately, he was tired of seeing oil from his country being shipped out by British Petroleum and the country getting paid pennies on the dollar. So he said, okay, we're going to nationalize the oil. That's when MI6, first they tried to get Harry Truman to go along with him. Harry Truman being Harry Truman, he says no. He threw him out of his office and said, the United States government will never do something like this. When Eisenhower became president, British Petroleum reinvented the reason, and it was saying that Mossadegh is now shifting over towards Stalin, and he wasn't. Islam and communism, they just don't mix. You cannot have a God-fearing atheist. So as a result, the Iranian people and the Middle East lost that chance for a democracy.
Well, what you're saying, I don't know, a lot of people are aware of what you're saying. And how can we in America get the Iranian people involved? Because you know as well as I do, they've killed thousands. Getting out there and just protesting is not the best thing. What do you suggest?
No, and that's one of the problems, and I've addressed this with the resistance leadership. They have got to, and I told them, you got to find yourself a Sam Houston, a Cochise, or a crazy horse. Well, then I had to translate what crazy horse meant. They thought, I told them they had to get an insane a riding animal. No, Crazy Horse was a great American warrior who united the Sioux.
I just watched a documentary about him. Yes.
The man was awesome. And let me deviate for a second. Let's be honest. He was defending his people at the Little Bighorn. He was not the aggressor. He was defending his people. That's what the Iranian need, is somebody like Crazy Horse that can unite him and move very, very quickly. And also, the Kurds, the Peshmerga, they are well armed and they do have the training and all. And the rest of the country, and I've been in discussions with the resistance about this, they don't have the unity like Sam Houston was able to bring together in Texas to beat Santana. That's what the people need. And they need somebody of a spirit like Houston, not just a military technician, but somebody who has the charisma and the ability and they have confidence in. And I've been pushing the resistance hard on this.
We've got to do that. We got about a minute left, Wesley, Wes, and I appreciate what you're doing. Again, your website is it's Colonel Wes Martin. You were a colonel, so I thank you for your service. You're helping people in Iran. This is a good thing. Tell us what you want the people to do.
The biggest thing people need to do is recognize there are many, many good people all over the world. Iranians, the Lebanese people, the Iraqi people, they are good people. Unfortunately, they got bad governments. Bad people have been able to take control of them. Recognize the people of the Middle East really wants the same thing we want. The four freedoms that Franklin Roosevelt said: freedom of religion, freedom from want, freedom from fear, and freedom of speech. That's what they want. We need to recognize and identify how we can support them in achieving those goals.
I think it's an excellent point. Colonel Wes Martin, his website. Hey, start thinking about the Iranian people. Let's not bomb them. Let's encourage them to take a part of their own government. Thank you very much, Wes. Appreciate you. We've met before, but I always enjoy having you. God bless you.
Pleasure.
And good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And we have Michael coming in. Are you there, Michael? So there we are. Michael, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
I see you. Do you see me? There you go.
Yes, sir.
Hello. So thank you so much. We're going to talk about student loans.
Student loans, yes, sir.
My daughter just paid hers off, so I'm glad she did. It's a lot more difficult. I have a question for you right off the bat, Michael. Well, first, before I get to that question, tell me about yourself, tell me about your organization, and tell me if there's a website I can go to.
Okay, so our website is cdmicredit.org. So that stands for Credit and Debt Management Institute. So cdmicredit.org. We've been in business consistently for 25 years. We have all 3 credit industry records, including the record for the highest credit score in the world. So I wrote the algorithm for credit restoration, and we help all of our clients get perfect credit, and then we show them how to monetize their credit. So we work mostly with small business owners. But any problem on your credit, we show you how to handle it. If there's any, it really doesn't matter.
I'm going to show you a website. That's a pretty nice website. I really like it. Nice colors.
Thank you.
There you go. We are the world's leading credit experts. Wow. We wrote the book on debt elimination. Wow. I want to get rid of
we do real debt elimination. So we don't do like fake credit repair, that kind of crap.
In other words, you don't aggregate it and say, let's get all your into one particular bundle, and you're still paying the same thing.
You're still paying the same thing, maybe even more.
Yeah, that's the game that they play.
We know.
I'm familiar with it, Michael. But how do you help someone with bad credit?
Okay, so we use debt filtration. So every potential debt that you think you have, there's a corresponding debt filter to handle it. So for instance, if you think you have an IRS problem, a tax lien problem, and right now a lot of my clients got a ton of notifications this week for tax liens, you should be filing an OIC. That is the proper debt filter. It eliminates the debt and it fixes your credit simultaneously. So you might have a tax lien on your credit, you file the OIC, it immediately shuts down all collection activity. Once they've approved it, they will take it off your credit and you can eliminate 90% of what you owe. That is the right way to handle it.
If you have bad credit and you want to get out of it, if you're in debt, contact him. And here it is. It's cdmicredit.org/contact us. Put your name, your phone number, email, and they will get in contact with you. I just want to take a quick second here and let you know, Michael, that I do a little bit of my own promotion, and I am the writer of the book, The Jesus Gospel, jesusgospel.com, and I'm very excited to say that he doesn't do this often, but he did give me a endorsement for my book, Clarence Thomas. So the Jesus Gospel has been endorsed by Clarence Thomas. Go to jesusgospel.com and pick up a copy. So
very nice. Very nice.
Thank you. So, hey, there's a lot of people in debt. There was I'm gonna say a funny thing happening a few years ago that, hey, all your student debt's gonna get eliminated. And COVID was going on. There was a big stop, and everybody was convinced, I don't have to worry about it. Now,
yes.
Tell us what's happening now, because that didn't happen.
Yeah, and you brought up a central issue that I have. Okay, so it's just like you said, you were lured into a false sense of security. Okay, right now, 7.7 million people have defaulted student loans. So COVID came and said, listen, we're not coming after anybody. Don't pay any more student loans. You're all right. As soon as COVID was over, President Biden said, listen, I'm going to work and eliminate all student loans. We're going to pass new debt filters to get rid of all student loans. Now, that never happened. Now shift to July 1st. And now we have an administration that says, hey, you have to pay all of it. We're going to strike down a lot of those programs. And even worse than that, that's not the worst part, that a lot of programs were canceled. The worst part is student loan debt, defaulted debt, was transferred to the U.S. Treasury. U.S. Treasury is known for one thing, and that is collections.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
No, that is what they're known for. They're the best in the world at collections. So now, like a lot of my clients got letters this week, and it says that, hey, you are no longer part of the you're no longer part of the servicing arm of the student loan. We're in default resolution group. Excuse me. So default resolution means, and they went to break it down for you. Now we can garnish your wages. We can even garnish protected income. So for the first time in U.S. history, Social Security checks, veterans benefits, your retirement benefits, all those things can now be garnished or offset. Offset means they take the entirety of it. So none of your income is protected. And even worse than that, they can now proceed through legal remedies, which means they can foreclose on your houses.
Now, if someone's under this situation, can you help them?
Okay, so the first thing that we do with everybody, and I'm gonna just tell everybody listening, go to studentaid.gov and verify if you still owe any money. A lot of people made the mistake of thinking debt was canceled or forgiven.
What was that website? What was that
It's
website?
studentaid.gov. Everybody in America that has ever had a student loan should go to this website, and you can get what's called a zero statement. If you go to studentaid.gov, you have to sign up, log in, create an account, log in.
Studentaid.gov, yeah.
Yeah, and then you want to get an accounting of your total debt or liability. So if it's truly been paid off, then it'll say that you owe $0. But if you have a balance, then you need to come up with a solution set, and we can help you with that depending on what you owe, who you owe it to, that kind of thing. We'll tell you how to resolve it.
Let's do a review. Go to this website right here that you see.
No, that is a very valuable website, studentaid.gov.
Studentaid.gov. But if you
everybody's got to go there.
If you find you owe money and you don't necessarily have all that money, and you don't want to be garnished, or you don't want the government to come after you, go to cdmicredit.org and contact Michael or that organization, and they are there to help you. Let me ask you a quick question. There's a lot of scammers in this space.
Yes.
A large portion. I'll get you $10,000, but I'll take 5,000. How does it work with you?
Okay, so we have been around for 25 years. If you can, sorry about that. That's our phones ringing in the background. I don't know how to turn off that one ringer.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. So we have been in the business for 25 years. If you pull our Better Business Bureau rating, you'll see we're A+. You know, there's a lot of information about us. But more importantly, we use debt filtration. We're not a debt consolidation company. We're not a credit repair company. We don't use any of those methodologies. So we use what the government has set aside for you. Part of the problem with the student loan issue, there were 7.7 million of you that owe or had defaulted student loans at a time when we have the IDR program.
Michael, we only got about 30 seconds here, so I want to. These are quick fire interviews. I think we got the message across. I think what I really want people to do is go to cdmicredit.org.
Yes,
and
sir.
Also, if you owe money to the government as your student, go to studentaid.gov and contact Michael. Michael, you're doing a wonderful thing. You're helping people. And you're doing it in an honest way. You're not taking advantage of them. So God bless you. Thank you for that. And I hope to talk to you again.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Keep up the good work, sir. Great book, anyway.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So I have 2 Pauls coming up. And both Pauls are not the Pauls I was expected. I was expecting...
Sorry about that. Yeah, my name is Paul Harvey McLaughlin. I don't always use Harvey. Although this... the The audio is very garbled. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna add, maybe it's your note. Is your note taker there?
You sound just a touch like Darth Vader there. It's just
Okay, well, I think this is the problem. Okay, so your note taker was there, but they don't need to record. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I think the problem was that your note taker was also on.
Oh, my note taker, you could definitely shut my note taker off. I don't even know how that thing comes up. It's so invasive.
No, and it is, and this thing is already recorded on YouTube.
Yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah. I I joined one Zoom meeting one time and they said, "Is it okay if I record this meeting?" And I said, "Okay." And then every meeting after that, regardless of who I had a meeting with, all of a sudden this note taker, Paul's note taker, Paul's note taker. I'm like, don't, you're not my note taker. I didn't hire you. That's
no,
one
we're
of the problems
talking
with AI.
now. We kind of have a fun conversation here, and let me set it up and tell me if I'm right. But I like this. I really enjoy
Okay.
it. So if let's move into the realm of make believe.
Oh
Okay.
yes, absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you. You get it. You get
And
it.
and we're there, we're having fun, and we're assuming that the spirits, so to speak,
Mhm.
or the essence, or the reincarnation, whatever word you want to use,
Yeah, yeah. The spirit of 76. Yes.
of our founding fathers are coming back and to see what the American experiment has become. So we're talking about Franklin, we're talking about Washington, Jefferson, we're talking about Hamilton, we're talking about Madison. So they're coming back and they're going to see where we are at. And what you're going to do is make an assumption, but it's entertainment. But what will their reaction be? Is that correct?
That's correct. You've got it right on. You've nailed it. Yeah, it's fun. That's the word. It's the whole point is for people. We all have differences of opinion. We all have different political leanings and this, that, and the other thing. But we shouldn't fight about it. We should just learn to express ourselves a little bit more. And especially when the 4th of July is coming up, we should really be, it's just a great time to celebrate, what the Republic has accomplished in 250 years. But so the premise of this, the fun part of it is on New Year's Eve, Benjamin Franklin, being very good with electricity and a scientist, figured out a way to come and visit the 250th anniversary, through lightning and, the printing press and all this other stuff. So it's a little bit of a like a sci-fi ghost story or whatever, but it's like you said, it's just a fun thing to do. This is the teaser site that you're showing right
Yeah,
now
it's just a teaser site. You go live
on
the
July
4th of
4th.
July,
Yeah,
right?
we're probably gonna go semi-live tomorrow, but I don't want to tell anybody until July, that we won't be probably, there'll be bugs tomorrow and the next day. And by the 4th, hopefully we can say, yeah, we launched on the 4th. So they announced themselves on New Year's Eve. The ball dropped in Times Square and the spirits arrived. So midnight Philadelphia time, they came back and they weren't happy with what they saw. Just like, Franklin was asked, what did you guys come up with, when he walked out of Independence Hall, and he said, "A republic, if you can keep it." And some of the first words out of the Spirit Franklin's mouth was, "Well, apparently you couldn't keep it that well." So but they're very honest, and the thing that's great about the founders is they weren't perfect, they were scoundrels and they had issues with each other and they were just divided, federalist, anti-federalist, they would fight duels, they would hit each other with blunt objects. They were not very, but the one thing they would do that we're not doing now is once they got down to debating, they debated with logic, with passion, with patriotism, with a genuine zeal for freedom and liberty, because it was life and death for them back then. And now they're back here to tell us, hey, we're going to be honest with you. It took us 11 years to go from saying we're an independent nation to actually having a constitution and a president and a Congress and a Supreme Court. That took 11 years. There were several presidents before Washington. There was, the Articles of Confederation. There was a whole big messy thing that happened for a decade between those two events, to where we finally built the republic. And so now the spirits are pretty much coming back saying, hey, man, we had trouble from revolution to republic. we'll help you through this. And you can go to the website and you can get what I call reconstituted. You could learn about the Constitution, take a little test. And the best part is you can role play. When I was a kid, I went to Colonial Williamsburg and I loved watching people
Oh, that
walking
place is
around.
wonderful. That
Oh,
place is wonderful.
you've been, obviously, right? It's just,
Oh, yeah.
and you feel like you've met Jefferson, and you feel like you heard Hamilton talking and giving a speech, and I thought, oh, I just want to bring that experience and that joy and that fun that I felt when I was a kid walking through the streets of Williamsburg. And I was just so lucky. Just a couple of summers ago, or actually maybe a few summers ago, I was able to walk through with my daughter, and we went through this thing called RevQuest, and we were some of Washington's spies, and we did this role playing, and I just thought this is fantastic, and that was kind of before everything got. And I see, I even earned my RevQuest token.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Look at that.
And I kept that. So
solid gold there,
oh
Paul.
yeah. Well, solid, definitely. So I thought, well, since we're having a really rough time politically in our country, might as well throw some fun into it. And I have, my political beliefs are my political beliefs, but there's people that I love, specifically like my brothers, my sister, colleagues of mine, close friends that have the opposite beliefs, but it doesn't change my love and affection for them. And I want to be able to, I want to sit down at Thanksgiving dinner, and I don't like this idea of we're not going to talk politics. No, come on, you can talk politics, just talk respectfully and don't try to beat the person.
How about talk religion? They could do that too.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm actually my dad was a big advocate of red letter Bibles, and I have another website called The Red Stuff, which is just red letter stuff, and it's not about preaching and it's not about evangelicalizing. It's about, hey, the word of God, if it's anything, it's love, and it's a verb. Feed people, help people. Well, I'll get off on a tangent.
I'm going to take I'll take a quick little commercial break here, and I just want to let people know.
I'm sorry. I thought we were just starting. Sorry.
This is my book, Paul, the Jesus Gospel.
Awesome.
And I combined the four Gospels word for word, only using the words from the Bible. And he doesn't do this often, but I'm very proud to say that Clarence Thomas has endorsed my book.
Oh, awesome.
So, JesusGospel.com. JesusGospel.com. And Paul, I just want to tell you, I love what you're doing. Let me review it for everybody who's listening, because I think it's kind of fun. We have to engage in conversation. We can't just be people who are, I'm on the right, you're on the left, I'm not going to talk to you, I want nothing, because that doesn't get our country anywhere. And our founding fathers had a lot of arguments on many different things, and there was a lot of compromise that came out that resulted in the success of this country, the most successful country in the history of the world. God bless us. Be thankful for being American. But what we have to do now, and what you're trying to do, is let's put some fun into this so that it doesn't become a political conversation. It becomes a fun conversation.
Exactly.
And what would Jefferson say as he's, when he comes up with his slave wife, and it'd be that'd be very acceptable today, but maybe not then. Or what would Hamilton say as he gets mad at Madison, and what would Adams say? So, and it'd be really funny to see the different points of view. And I just think it'd be interesting that they did so much, but they didn't cover every issue. There's so many issues that Congress comes up with.
Oh yeah. Well, I want to just jump in right now, and I think the spirit of Jefferson would be very happy with your book, because he did the same thing with he did the Jefferson Bible, and he took just the synoptic Gospels and assembled them together. So that would be cool. And the thing is,
I have to tell you, he did one thing I didn't do. He cut out any miracles.
Any miracles,
anything that Jesus did that was spiritual, he cut it out. I didn't do that. And Adams told him, don't publish that book, so they never published it. I don't even know if it exists. Does it exist?
Oh yeah, it exists. But the thing is that it would be great to have somebody like you. The fun part about 76spirits.com is that somebody like yourself, you could role play Jefferson, and you could say, you could actually publish your Jefferson Bible.
I'm
And
not a
that's
fan. I'm not a
no,
fan of
no,
Jefferson, so
no.
I'd love to do it.
But like
You know,
you just
you know that
you gotta
Jefferson, when
yeah.
he died, he was $2 million in debt. Did you
Oh
know
yeah,
that?
yeah. Oh yes. Well, he
He
did
was he was
like his wine and he liked his food.
people would say, oh yeah, come stay at our hotel, and they thought they were going to get paid and never got paid.
Yeah. But I tell you, the thing that you hit the nail on the head is that they left us a great document, but it was so much unfinished. But the whole point of the document, even when they finished the Constitution, it was like, uh-oh, we forgot individual rights and freedoms. We better tack on the Bill of Rights. So 10 amendments right off the bat. And wow, we never really did address that whole slavery thing, did we? And we didn't get
Got
women the right
frozen
to
there.
vote. If everything stayed the same, half the country, women would not be voting right now. If it stayed the same, but the document, it's like the founders weren't perfect and they knew they weren't perfect. So they gave us an imperfect document so we could pursue a more perfect union. And we're never going to get to the more perfect union, but don't ever stop trying. And like you said, you can't just fight all the time. When it comes to important issues like our country's future, and and especially on the 4th, celebrating the greatness of our country, it's this is the time to come together, not have division. The only place you should really have division is sports. Then you could really be nasty to one another. That's my thing. I grew up in Chicago, so that's the only place where I'll just be, I'm on this side, you're on that side, and never the twain shall meet. But when it comes to politics and things that really matter, and especially about our personal relationships with our colleagues, our friends, our loved ones, don't let politics drive the wedge between that. That's crazy because and it seems like the big social media people, I don't know how you feel on this one, but my personal feeling is, you got to follow your heart, not the algorithm. And you can't just, because people are so much easier to control en masse if you've got them fighting against each other. While we're busy fighting each other, it's like, hey, I'll hold your coat while you guys fight, and then they pick your pocket. It's just not. It's
I like that
everybody's.
analogy. That's what's going on in this government. Hey, let's let the Democrats fight against the Republicans and increase taxes along the way.
Yeah. There's one place where I kind of role played Alexander Hamilton, and I had him write an article called "Hey, we said checks and balances, not checks and balance books," and it has a and it has a picture of Elon Musk exiting the Treasury with 2 big sacks of money.
Pretty
So,
funny. The website is 76spirits.com, the spirit of American Revolution, the spirit of America, that has this experiment called the United States that's been relatively successful. But we need to keep it successful. We need to fight for it. We need people to wake up and forget about their individual beliefs, maybe open up their minds a little bit and look at what the founding fathers had in mind. We got about 20 seconds left. Paul, what would you like to say?
I'd like to say that everybody should go there. We're running a little contest. Like if you go there and get reconstituted, which is basically just making an account on the website, you're automatically entered to win $250 or some minor prizes of $76. And if you role play a spirit, you can win up to $1,776. We're going to do that for this year. The
So
250th
now
year.
we're off the air, but we're still on YouTube.
Oh,
So
we are. Okay.
Where
So
are
here's
you?
here's the reconstitution.
Where
Here's
is
the
it? Oh, there
spirits.
it is. And subscribe. How do I enter?
Oh, that's on Substack. You should wait for anybody listening on YouTube. You should wait for the full site to drop on the 4th and make an account. This is just the teaser site. You can, on the teaser site, you can read the origin story of the spirits, and you could read a little bit of the reconstitution. But there's some fun widgets on there. They're like little apps on the website built in. And one of them is interesting because it asks you a series of questions, and it's called "Where do you stand?" And you don't identify yourself. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. I'm Democratic. I'm Republican. What happens is it asks you a bunch of questions. Hey, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? And then at the end of it, it shows you where you fall in the spectrum. And it says, well, in 1776, in the 1700s, we would have called you a Federalist or an anti-Federalist. And
Or
in
wait.
today's or a wig, yeah.
Paul, thank you so much. This was a
Okay.
lot of fun. You're a lot of fun. The spirit, 76 spirits, 76 spirits. The website goes fully live on the 4th of July, so wait until then. And I just want to say, God bless you and thank you.
Oh, God bless you too. Thank you so much.